Welcome to She Says with your host, Stephanie Regalado. She Says guests share stories from their challenges to successes and, most importantly, the journey of womanhood woven alongside the collaboration of sisterhood. From self, love, friends and family, to hot topics, career, and world views, Stephanie and her guests discuss matters with utmost openness and honesty. So let's hear what she says. Here's Stephanie.
Hello and welcome to She Says. I'm your host, Stephanie Regalado. Very excited to have, I know it, Aly Korchemniy.
Yes, hello.
Hello, thanks for being here. And having a snazzy name that makes my brain think harder. Yeah. And then I know how Regalado is often very difficult.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't think it's as difficult as yours, but you are the founder of ANFISA.
Yes, ANFISA Skin, yes.
You're making my brain think over. ANFISA Skin, and it started off your process many years ago when you were having skincare challenges.
Yeah. So it kind of started really kind of out of a struggle. I've had bad skin for a long time. I struggled with acne and sensitive skin for well over a decade. So it kind of just started as a hobby. I really I had found that harsh chemicals and skincare products filled with different fillers made my skin worse before it made it better. And so I really wanted to just get down to the root of the problem and started researching ingredients and formulation and stuff back in 2012. And that just kind of turned into a hobby that really ignited a passion in me for skincare and ingredients. And so, and then from there, ANFISA Skin was kind of conceptualized after my husband and my sister-in-law sat me down and they're like, you have so much knowledge and so much passion for this. You really need to turn this into a business. And I kind of looked at them like, are you guys crazy? A skincare brand? No. And so, but the more I thought about it, the more the idea kind of grew on me. And I just really kind of changed my way of thinking. And I thought instead of what if this fails? Or, having that fear of failing, I just thought, you either win or you'll learn. So, ANFISA Skin was conceptualized early 2016. It took 2 years to kind of come to life, and we launched this year in January, so January 31st. And we just really kind of wanted to, I wanted to make a product that was proprietary, that was gender neutral, but that was also able to kind of address all the problems that I never was able to find a solution for with other various products. So,
how did you create one product that can be used by both genders and all sorts of skin ailments? Because it seems like there's 1,000, well, I don't even know how many. You may know how many products are out there.
Oh, yeah, millions, actually.
And lists of all the different things that present itself. So how did you, I know you did this for...
Yeah, so it's been 6 years now that I've kind of just been in that world, I guess, with, researching ingredients and formulating and stuff. And so Lulu really was born, I really wanted it to be gender neutral, so free of fragrance, so that, let's say, you're not going to be able to please everybody with a fragrance, because if you love vanilla, somebody might hate it, and vice versa, and then you kind of constrict the males from using it, because it has that girl smell to it. So by just being free of fragrance, and then let's say even the branding, not making it pink or let's say rose gold or something where it's just really driven towards the females, so that men can also feel good about using it and not think like, oh, I have this girly product in my drawer and I have to hide it. So we definitely have several male customers, and my husband is one. He loves to use it, and you don't have to be ashamed of taking care of your skin as a male, which is oftentimes what happens in our generation, because it's a pink bottle, it's pretty, and so
oftentimes as an entrepreneur there's a lot of guerrilla type of marketing and finding your way through and releasing it out into the world. What has that process been like for you? Because you've been featured in major national publications.
Yeah.
Like right out of the chute.
Yeah. It really was crazy. The day we launched, we had British Vogue contact us. So we launched January 31st at 8 in the morning, and by 8:30 we already had Vogue contacting us. So that was really, really kind of shocking, surprising. When I got that email, I was like, oh, this is a scam.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. So, yeah, honestly, I think it just kind of comes down to the branding, to make sure that you're not necessarily copying somebody else or duplicating something that already exists. Which is often so many times where people are like, oh, this product works or this brand works, so I want to be just like them. But if you are very different and unique and you kind of find that position in the market, then you do stand out from a crowd of millions of different brands. And so,
what are some ways that you did things differently to stand out and create your own brand?
So I think the brand, so even just the name ANFISA, which means flower and kind of ties into my Eastern European roots. It's also a nod to the 20 botanical-based ingredients in Lily Regenerating Balm. That already kind of spikes interest in people. They're like, what does ANFISA mean, and what is that? And so in just the overall branding, the packaging, people are always intrigued by it, like, what is this? Or even something as, I mean, we all use social media nowadays, and that's exactly how Vogue had found us. But they're like, wow, I love your page. It's so unique and so different. You're having this completely different theme than everybody else's. And so I think that just standing out from the crowd and thinking of ways and ideas to be different. If everybody's doing things one way, try to do everything the opposite way. And then you'll get attention that way. So.
Well, because oftentimes, they say that someone copying you is the greatest form of flattery.
Right.
And oftentimes other people will say, look at what's working and try to create your own version of that. But you did the opposite.
Yeah,
you saw things that were working and you found a different way to...
Yeah, exactly. And even with formulating Lily Regenerating Balm, so we have that singular product, even formulating that, I actually made sure to research, because there are different balms that exist on the market, so it's not like we've come up with a completely new category. So balms do exist, but we actually made sure to research, let's say, our competitors, and I wanted to make sure that we don't have similar ingredients, that it is going to be different. And the way it is different is we formulated with acne-prone or sensitive-prone skin in mind, so somebody with eczema or dermatitis or rosacea, they don't have to worry about, is this going to make my skin worse? Is this the fragrance in this going to make it worse? So having different natural elements like cucumber seed that are going to soothe and lighten your skin, or matcha green tea that it's full of antioxidants and it's really going to help combat that aging. So just using all those different ingredients that are not super common or very popular, and having a very concentrated product really kind of helps us stand out from the crowd.
Did you go to school through any of this process? Or
no. So self-taught, really kind of really out of, just having such acne-prone skin for such a long time. My parents took me around to dermatologist after dermatologist, and I just had such harsh reactions to those ingredients. And so it just made it worse before it made it better. And I went to school for medical billing and coding, so way different field. And I've actually worked in the optometry field for the last 8 years. And so this has always kind of been a hobby and a passion. And I've just had to learn and educate myself through really kind of the need for my own skin. So that's really kind of where I came out of. So.
And I can imagine that you had a lot of friends and family members as your little test.
Yeah, I called them my guinea pigs.
Your guinea pigs, not tested on animals, tested on friends and family.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. I definitely had a group of friends where I was like, hey, I made a new batch this week and I tweaked this. Like, tell me what you like and what you don't like. And that was really helpful, I think, because there are certain things that, I knew I wanted and didn't want. And it's just it's kind of like when you smell too much perfume, you have to smell some coffee beans, you know?
Yeah.
So I feel like my friends were kind of the coffee beans in a sense, where they were like, you know, I really like this, but I don't like how that works. And I always told them, I want you to be brutally honest with me. Don't be like, oh, I'm going to hurt her feelings, you know? And so that was definitely really good to have them as my testers.
And then after 6 years of doing that, and you're in the process of creation, how do you know when to, it's kind of like asking a writer or an artist also, how do you know when to set it free into the world? How did you know when you finally had the product?
Yeah. So I, once ANFISA Skin, the idea of ANFISA Skin was conceptualized, I began just working on, because I worked on so many different formulas and just always kind of played. So I knew I wanted to have a moisturizer, a balm, and I had all these different kind of guidelines that I wanted to basically follow, things I looked for in a product, and then, you know, feedback from friends as well. So I wanted it to sink into your skin really quickly, not leave, you know, a greasy, oily feeling on it. I want it, like I mentioned, to be used for skins that are prone to acne or are sensitive, but then also have the anti-aging benefits as well. So it took probably over 1,000 different formulations of Lulu Regenerating Balm, and thousands of dollars basically down the toilet in a sense to really kind of perfect it. But once, you know, and always tweaking, but once you did kind of, once I did get to the final product, I just knew, just putting it on your skin, you just kind of know, just as a writer, let's say, knows, like, this is it, this is where I'm done, this sounds good. You just kind of knew, and I came to my husband, I'm like, I got it. This is it. And it was just the most rewarding feeling too, because you work so hard and so long, and because we didn't work with a chemist who, you know, could have formulated the thing for us in a day. But I wanted to just really be able to know the I guess the element of each ingredient, and be able to kind of combine all of that into something very unique.
I love it. So we need to take a quick break to hear a message from our sponsors. When we come back, I'd love to hear times where you felt maybe you weren't going to go on. I know you said it was a hobby, and sometimes hobbies can, you can push them along a little easier, but I want to hear how you broke through roadblocks, what's next, advice and tips for other creatives out there who see a gap in a marketplace and want to forge out on their own, because I feel like you have all that experience. So
love it.
We will be right back after a short break.
Is your child having trouble coping with a personal disability, but don't know where to go? Consider our friends at Breakthrough Incorporated. Breakthrough takes great pride in mentoring their DDA clients who have intellectual disabilities and their BRS clients who have challenging behaviors toward the creation of safe, appropriate, ethically sound life goals. They integrate programs at school and home to enrich their lives. They work hard to make a positive difference in you and your family's lives. Breakthrough provides a highly structured, fully staffed residential setting in local neighborhoods, 6 in Spokane and 2 in the Tri-Cities. Diagnoses affect people differently, so their service to each resident is unique, giving them the opportunity to grow and evolve. For more information on Breakthrough, visit their website at breakthroughincorporated.org.
What? You haven't been to the library lately? Stop in today and see that the library is more than books. Spokane County Library District facilities feature on-site technology, including Wi-Fi, computers, and printers, as well as free use of meeting rooms. The Library District offers events and programs for all ages, from story times to career development and employer classes to Social Security workshops. Our staff is well trained and happy to help. Find out more about your library at scld.org.
Welcome to Tom Sawyer Country Coffee.
Tom Sawyer Country Coffee only roasts the finest organic coffee for our signature blends. Enjoy a cup at our coffee shop and local businesses and organizations across the region.
I'm Tom Sawyer, and we choose the Pacific Northwest.
Hello, welcome back to She Says. I am Stephanie Regalado, your host, with Aly Korchemniy of ANFISA Skin. And so you were working 6 years. That's such a good chunk of your life to
Yeah,
devote to
it really
something.
is. Yeah.
And how rewarding at the end. What were some roadblocks that you faced, and how did you push through those?
Oh gosh, I mean, there was just kind of starting out. I mean, at first, obviously, it was fun. It was a hobby, and so there's not necessarily roadblocks. But so 4 years with it being a hobby, and then 2 years kind of conceptualizing the actual brand. I feel like almost each part really kind of felt like a roadblock with like certain things. So let's start with like, let's say packaging, developing the packaging. That was 7 months in itself. And we did that ourselves. So my husband actually designed it. He dabbles in graphic design and photography. And so we did so much ourselves. It's a self-funded business. We didn't have, just an unlimited fund to kind of reach into and be like, we need, $20,000.
I was going to say definitely roadblocks would be financial.
Exactly, no.
Because, it's not an unending supply of money to buy new
so it started kind of with the branding, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is such a roadblock, and once we'll get done with this, we won't have roadblocks. And so once we were done with that, you come to the next thing. And so, but I feel like the most significant thing to probably overcome was the branding in itself. Just because there's so many different ways you can go. You have so many ideas, so many visions. I feel like in so many ways it's like building a home, like you have all these ideas, you have all these visions, but then when everything comes together, it might look different than you imagined it. So just the branding in itself, because we did want it to be unique and stand out, and we wanted to get it right from the beginning and not have like a rebranding later on and just kind of whisk it.
Well, I know
itself.
some of it is close to your heart that you went with. The name is close to your roots.
So my Eastern European roots, it ties into that,
So there's special meaning there. And then your flagship product is what I think of it, is Lulu, and that's after your mom?
So I wanted to kind of have a sentimental meaning to everything. So I wanted ANFISA to tie into my Eastern European roots, kind of be part of my heritage, not pretend I'm French or something. And then Lulu is just kind of spin-off of my mother's name, which is Lilia, and I wanted all the products, so we'll have more products in the future, but I wanted each product to have a very unique name and mean something to me, but then also stand out and not just be like cream or something that's super boring or and so it definitely does have a sentimental meaning to me.
So I'm thinking about people when they're looking at such a broad spectrum of possibility for their product or idea, how do you choose it? And that's just one way that I've seen that you have done it. You went really close to your heart and had meaning to you, but also had excitement, enticement to the broad spectrum.
And that was really important to me to, to have that element in the brand, and then, and also makes you stand out from the crowd, because then you don't have to worry about, is somebody else going to copy me, or is somebody else going to have a name like this? Like, what are the chances? Because I kind of, came up with that on my own. I just basically made up a word with Lulu. So, I mean, maybe somebody does actually have that name out there. Who knows? But
from what you know, no. What advice do you have to people considering a dream that you had, or maybe a hobby that's just to your heart? So many times you hear, follow that thing that constantly revisits you or continuously revisits you, an idea, whether it's something creative or you see a gap in the marketplace. It seems sometimes to a lot of people as an impossible task. But you're a testament to the possibility of it. So.
Honestly, I don't think there's much that's impossible with anybody. And sometimes people are like, they play a victim of their circumstances, in a sense like, I grew up like this, or this is my situation. So they kind of play a victim to that, and that becomes their excuse of why they shouldn't or couldn't execute on their dream. But we want to, I think, just be in control of our decisions. So regardless of what circumstances you came from. But I think that being able to just pursue a dream, regardless of what it is to not, it's important to listen to the advice and opinions of others. But if you are going to just rely on those people, let's say friends or family, to see, let's say, is this a good idea? Is this a bad idea? So if you give people the power to feed you, you also will give them the power to starve you. And so that's what I've kind of done is, like, yes, listen to opinions that people have to say, but ultimately making your own choices and decisions and following your heart. Because honestly, if I listened to people's opinions, I would not be where I am today. And you just have to kind of almost disregard them in a sense too. So just really kind of be resilient and tenacious in following your dream and not letting people and their opinions kind of, you know, put you off course.
And rule the day. That's
exactly.
One thing I've learned about trust through years and maturing over time is that so many people say they can't trust others or have trouble. And I have discovered that the only trust you absolutely need is within yourself.
Exactly.
Because then you can trust yourself in any situation with anyone. So you don't have to worry about whether or not you can trust them, because that's a control issue, and it's all out of your control anyway. I agree. And that sounds like what you did too, is you really trusted yourself and your instincts.
Exactly. And I mean, of course, having somebody that you can rely on. So for me, that was my husband. He was super encouraging, and he really helped so much. Without him, I would have not been able to do what we've done today. So he's been a huge part of ANFISA Skin. So having that one person to kind of help you and push you, but generally it does have to be somebody like a spouse, because even, let's say, the best of a friend is, they might turn on you, or they might not want the best for you, or they might not want something better for you than for themselves. So it is important to have that one person you can kind of rely on, or even having a mentor who doesn't necessarily have to be a super close friend, but does have like a successful business, being able to mentor you through that. So that's just really, really valuable to have.
How long have you been in Spokane?
So I'm originally from Portland. We've been in Spokane for 3 years now. So I always say I'm new to Spokane, but I'm like, I have to stop saying that, because I've been here for 3 years. I'm like, I've been here for 3 years, but when you do grow up somewhere, and it is home for such a long time, and then you come somewhere else and you're like, I'm still new. So this year, like, just I'm meeting a lot of people in the community. I'm like, I have to stop. They're like, oh, really? How new are you? And I was like, oh, I guess 3 years, not that new.
It's still, there's just so much to take in, and so many people to meet that it takes a long time.
So many people to meet, and I've just made a point this year to become more integrated in the community and
well, that's how we met.
Exactly.
You attended an event, and
exactly,
then,
that was awesome. So just really kind of, and I love Spokane for that. It's just really grown on me, and people always ask me, they're like, do you love Spokane over Portland or whatever, you know? I'm like, well, Portland will always kind of be home, but Spokane does have my heart ultimately at the end of the day. It's just grown on me, and the community is so close-knit, and I love that.
Well, obviously you love Spokane because you're actually manufacturing your product right here.
Yes, just right here in Spokane. We manufacture here locally, and we sell online at ANFISA Skin. So we are just really proud to be manufacturing locally. About 90% of skincare brands actually manufacture overseas. So you never actually have control of your product, of your suppliers, of your ingredients. You really never truly know what's kind of going in there. So we're really proud to have that control.
And what's next? I know you have some big things on the horizon. This
This
year's been amazing for you.
So incredible. It's really just been a whirlwind. Well, we launch at the end of this, at the end of the month, we launch online at anthropology.com. So that's
huge.
Super exciting for us. We're very excited about that. And then we hope to be in some brick and mortar stores by the end of the year. And obviously, just like we talked about before, having been in those major publications like Vogue and GQ and Elle and Cosmo and other publications that you just kind of grow up reading has just been such an honor. And so kind of have dreamt of that, really.
Do you have other products in mind as you continue on, or is
so right now we just have Lulu Regenerating Balm, the singular product. We do hope to incorporate an entire skincare line one day of 7 products. And I'm always constantly formulating for myself, so I always have several concoctions on my bathroom stand. But nothing necessarily in the works to kind of start selling right now. We're just really focusing on getting Lulu out there sure.
And Lulu is good for the entire body.
Yes, you can use it on your entire body. So it is, I mean, very anti-aging. It has lots of different benefits. I do use it on my entire body. It does retail for $130. So if you're able to use it on your whole body, do it. But if you're not, just keep it for your face. And I always suggest the neck as well, because sometimes we neglect the neck area when we think about the face too. So
it's so exciting. How did you make a relationship with anthropology?
So when we launched, we actually attended a beauty expo in New York. It was just like a really high-end event. It was curated of 25 different brands.
Oh, wow.
And so it was a trade show, so it was only different stores, buyers, and magazines. And so we met the anthropology buyer there. We'll be attending another one in LA in October, so hope to meet some of the West Coast buyers there.
Excellent. Well, you can find ANFISA Skin on Facebook and Instagram.
Yes.
Your Instagram is very beautiful.
Thank
it does
you.
feel refreshing. And
thank you.
So you've got it going on. I'm really excited to watch you and continue rooting for you.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate that.
And thanks for putting Spokane on the map in such a fabulous way.
Thank you. It's honestly been just an honor.
Excellent. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Aly. Thanks for joining us on She Says. We will see you next time.
She Says is produced in Spokane, Washington by SpokaneTalksOnline.com, which is solely responsible for its content.